You guys, I have some downloads for you that I have received the past few days. Um, but let me tell you something. When I'm done with giving you the downloads, I want to read a Bible verse that I wrote upon yesterday. You guys, I prayed to God. I got a Bible app on my phone, but I wanted a Bible, like the real thing to hold in my hands. And I asked God for some form of way to send me one, a way to be able to get a hold of one. And yesterday, when I was going through some stuff and, cleaning out some space, guess what I come across? Guess what I came across? A Bible! I was so excited, you guys, for certain reasons. I know we can look at our app and read off the phone, but to have the real thing, man, it's awesome to fill the pages. So I'm telling you, God listens to your prayers. He does. And you guys, when you're trying to be obedient the best you can, and God knows He knows you're human. You're gonna have a slip up there, here and there, just as long as you're trying, like I said, it's a very slow process. I'm not saying that we're perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But as long as you're trying to be, better. And Jesus says, I knew you were going to sin again, but what I want is your heart. That is the one thing I've been preaching on my channels. It's the heart of the matter. It's the heart. Your heart will be judged. Your heart will go on that scale when you go to cross over. But you guys, I want to talk to you about some downloads that I have received. Let me talk about a dream last night I had. You got some people still playing in your energy, still doing, sending negative energy, whatever you want to call it, form of dark magic, whatever. I had a sister, I had an ex, and an ex-drug dealer in my dream last night. And let me tell you, first of all, in my dream, their spirit, they looked so sick in the dream, so tired. Just, their energy was like depleted, very sickly in the dream. And in my dream, I was wandering in the streets, and so happened the ex tried to pick me up and wanted me to move back in with him because I was out wandering in the streets. And then after I wouldn't go there, that I denied him, he kind of went off the marker. Let me just say that. Was very angry and wanted to attack me. And then next thing you know, I'm in a car with a sister energy. And she was very sick looking, and was doing drugs. You guys, I'm an ex-addict, where I used to be, my drug of choice was opiates, which I've been clean for over 2 years now. But the sister energy was trying to get me to, do that drug, right? And was trying to put it in, somehow we was in her car, but was in one of my old cars, was trying to implant the drug in the car, to get caught with. And I ended up getting out. I didn't want to do it. I ended up getting out of the car. And then as I go to look upon, she ends up getting into a car wreck. Next thing you know, I'm at an old ex-drug dealer's house, and he's trying to say that he's giving me some, oh, you can stay here. You can have all the drugs you want. But as he was trying to give them to me, I had a birthday card in my hand, and he was taking the money out of my birthday card. And when I go to look over, there was some woman laying in his bed that was underneath the cover, and she got up and was kind of like stroking my hair, like she was trying to check out my energy. I don't know. I felt like she was some type of practitioner or something. She had very long braids in her hair, like it was weaved in. Okay, so they want you to be as your life to see, you know how you're going through something bad, you guys, and a lot of people may want to numb themselves, like if you lost a loved one, you want to numb yourself, you want to go back to that drug because of some form of trauma, you don't want to feel that pain. So after, they don't want to take everything away from you, they've sent magic for you to lose everything and you to have nobody, you know but you're not in this victim mentality. Not only you take accountability for yourselves on the things in your life, even though God had it turn out that way, but you take accountability of things, and you don't want to fall back into those patterns, because not only this is, you don't want to get slapped on the wrist. I was having a conversation with somebody and they were like, okay, so what are you going to do now that you don't, or you can't? And I was like, well, there's only one person that I have, that I go to, and that person brought up somebody from my past, and I said, no, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Father. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. That's the one who I go to. They want you to go back to the past. They want you to move back in with them. They want you to go back to your old ways. And I told that person, if I go back after what God saved me from, if I was to go back to somebody that God told me to cut out of my life, I would get slapped with a tower. Sometimes, you guys, the tower comes when you remove yourself out from somebody's life. I'm talking about somebody who's done you wrong and you didn't set those boundaries. And if you go back to that, God's going to slap a tower. If God is removing people from your life for whatever reason, it may not be because, that person has treated you bad. It may be because your energy is just outgrown that place where you was at. You or that assignment is over with. It may be also because of that as well, that God will remove things from your life no matter how bad it is, and God's saying don't have no fear, because it's all a part of the plan. That was the dream I had last night too. And also too, if you lost somebody, you guys, you lost a soul in your life, somebody that you love dearly, and you're missing them, remember this: we don't never die. We go to another dimension. We move on. And if you're in that agony, and God understands grief. Grief is a brutal, brutal, brutal pain. But when you get to such an ascension, you realize, we don't die, or you go to a better place. Pray to God to send that person to you in your dream to let you know that they're okay. Because that was another thing last night I had a dream about, that I was praying for somebody, and somebody showed up in my dream, and they looked so beautiful in my dream, and I knew they were okay. I knew they were okay, but you miss that person, you miss that, but you understand that God has them there either for some type of purpose, for a type of, whatever the assignment was for that person. That that person, God had to take that person for whatever reason. You understand that. And there was a video about a little boy who called in on radio, it's online, about how his calf had died, his cow, and he was so upset, and he prayed to God, like, God, why did you take it? It's the sweetest, this boy, it was so sad, it was so sweet. And he said that, God told him that that cow was special, that I had to take it for what he understood, that God answers your prayers. So don't be sad, because that person is moving on. That person isn't dead. I promise you that. That person's wherever place God chose them to be, and they was only meant to be here for that temporary time or whatever. So speaking of that, let me go to the downloads I got, you guys, the past couple of days. First of all, and I always write down in my journal, first download I have here, glasses. Somebody's got a camera in their glasses, a spy glasses. And when I was thinking about it, or been thinking about it, a commercial popped up. Okay? And I'm hearing that they want to remind you of sad and loss. Karmics want to remind you of sad and loss that you've been. I guess to put you in a low vibration. but you understand life. Like, say if you been through something traumatic, they want to keep bringing it up. They want to, to be reminded, keep you at low vibration or whatever. That's one thing that I got yesterday. A break-in. Be careful also, not only that, be careful who you let in your house, because I'm hearing that you got some karmics that are teaching their kids or sending their kids in to do some dirty work. Somebody wants to break in, I don't know, to get items, or this could be past, present, or future, that want to get a piece of your item, something recent, because they may have an item that doesn't work anymore, that they want to get something with your newer energy on it. But remember, God is protecting you from things that you don't even see. Also, too, major one, a photo, something about a photo. They want to get photos of you. I don't know if somebody's outside taking photos, say if you're talking to a neighbor, to make you look like that you're having a whole relationship with that neighbor, to make you look promiscuous. If like you're standing on your neighbor's porch having a conversation, they want to take that photo to make you look like, oh, you're sleeping with that neighbor. Something about a photo. And poisoning, like, they want to poison. This could be past, present, or future. Poisoning. Something about, there's somebody who's in your face who is an enemy, and they're pretending to be concerned and act concerning. Rats are all around you. But, play stupid. Let them think you're stupid and you don't know. Okay? Remember, vengeance belongs to the Lord. Let's see. You guys, and also too, I wrote down, if they play in your energy, they're going to get really sick. And the last thing that I got that Spirit had me write down, I put here, Spirit flipping bottle caps. Spirit flipping bottle caps. When I woke up this morning, I had that song in my head. That guy, I don't know his name or what the name of the group was, but the song was, yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. My girl Bella Sloan did a video on him, and one thing she did in the reading and said about him was, you need to check out Bella Sloan, because she's, you just have to check her out. She pulled his energy, and one thing he said in an interview, that he was flipping Sunkist bottle caps. And I talk about the movie Ghost all the time, about where Sam was learning how to flip bottle caps, because he was doing things to protect Molly, his girlfriend from the past, protecting her like he was fighting the enemy from the other side. The spirit realm is in a major battle, and it goes back to think about the very first video that I saw of her. One thing she said when she saw all the children that crossed over, that they were battling up for war, and there's a spiritual warfare going on. You've got, and I know this is crazy, but there's dark and the light that are fighting on your behalf right now. And there's a reason for it, but I'm going to leave that as it is, but I'm going to go to the Bible, you guys. Yesterday when I found the Bible, something in my heart said, let me just turn to a page. God, lead me to a page, to a verse that you want me to read, that you want me to know right now. And I come across this one. I opened it up to this one. It was the 2nd of Kings, 34 through 41, you guys. I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to take it how you take it. To this day they do according to the formal manner. They do not fear the Lord, and they do not follow the statutes of the rules, or the law, or the commandment that the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel. The Lord made a covenant with them and commanded them, you shall not fear other gods, or bow yourself to them, or serve them, or sacrifice to them. But you shall fear the Lord, who brought you out of the land of Egypt with great power and with an outstretched arm. You shall bow yourselves to him, and to him you shall sacrifice. And the statutes of the rules and the laws of the commandment that he wrote for you, you shall always be careful to do. You shall not fear other gods, and you shall not forget the covenant that I have made with you. You shall not fear other gods, but you shall fear the Lord your God, and he will deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies. However, they would not listen, but they did according to their formal manner. So the nations feared the Lord, and also served their carved images. Their children did likewise, and their children's children, as their fathers did, so they do to this day. You guys, I want you to sit and Think about that. This is what I got. The Lord, God had me stop upon this verse right here. And as I read it, it was perfect at the time, because you should fear the Lord. You know, you should, the commandments, and if you be obedient, the stronger you are, and that God covers you. He covers you. You should not fear other gods, because there's one God, and that's the Most High God. And to your enemies, I promise you, He will deliver you from your enemy. And your purpose is teaching for generations to generation, the mission, the assignment, that if you have faith in the Most High God and you be obedient, I promise you, I will cover you with my feathers, to teach your children, to teach them how to pray and to not fear other false gods. It is God, I'm telling you, who will deliver you. And do not have fear of your enemies, because I promise you, He will protect you. And that is what I turned the page onto yesterday after I let God to tell me where to turn it on. And to the ones that aren't listening, I'm not even going to make a comment on that. I'm just going to leave it there. You guys, I love you guys. 333, all journey long to the sun, to the moon, to the stars, and back. Mwah. Bye.